Andersen.
What's going on, you guys? Good morning and welcome back to channel Andersen. Of course the leaf blower goes off right when I'm going to start the video, but anyways, we are here today. I am putting an expansion tank into the C36, or swapping out the old one for a new one, because it seems like it's losing coolant and it's one of the original parts that I haven't touched yet. So I figured now's the time, let's try it out, throw a new one in. Hopefully it gets rid of our coolant loss issue. Basically, I did the water pump on this thing months ago now, and it's driven flawlessly. It's dry underneath, it's bone dry everywhere else. Coolant's been fine, it's never had a temp issue or anything like that. Took it on a long road trip from Oregon, or to Oregon and back, and when we got back home, a few days later, after driving it around for a bunch more, we noticed that the coolant was low. So it's possible that it could have just burped itself when we were out on the road, because we did stay in like standstill traffic, getting real hot for a good hour plus on our Portland drive. But you know, so it could have just popped an air bubble that was in there and, you know, burped the system a little bit more than I had. But it's also possible that the expansion tank is just losing fluid. So just to eliminate that being a possibility, I'm gonna go ahead and swap it out, and I got a really good deal for you guys, so let me show you something. So this right here, Dorman, you guys have heard me talk about it in the past, but Dorman is so good, man. They produce so many parts for so many different makes and models, and a lot of times the cool thing with their German parts is they end up being factory parts. You order the Dorman part, it's a Dorman price. This thing was literally 30 bucks off Amazon, but it's actually the genuine part. Let me show you. So here it is, and you'll see here shortly. That right there tells you it is the correct part, and if you see right there, you can see they basically just shaved off the OEM part numbers that sit over here, which is incredible, to be honest. I don't know how they do this, but it's like 90% of the time that I order a Dorman part for the Mercedes, it ends up being an actual factory part. So you can see nice, fresh metal top there for the expansion tank cap, and everything down below is super good. The only thing it doesn't come with is a level sensor, which we can just swap out the one we have, and that's it. So the other really cool thing is it comes with a brand new cap, which is also a factory part. You can see the German writing there on the cap. So super cool. I didn't need one, but hey, doesn't hurt swapping a new one with it. So we're gonna do that. I should have some coolant laying around, maybe we can use, otherwise I'll have to go run to the store and grab some later, but it's not a big deal. Let's go ahead and get into swapping this thing out, and after we finish up that, I will give you guys a little bit of a tour of what else is going on, because we are in the thick of things, obviously, with the motor being pulled out of the red C55, and I'll give you guys a bit of an update on the rest of the fleet too, but let's get this done first. Should be a quick one. Alright guys, you can see our original one here, and the reason I want to start with this before going down any rabbit hole is because I filled this up basically to the brim, and when I came back the next day, it's almost all the way down. It's got like maybe less than a quarter in it filled up, so chances are this thing is weeping from somewhere. I didn't see like any big like water running spots, but it's also hard to see exactly where underneath, and it could be dripping underneath and then just going straight to like onto the tire basically on this side. So I checked around the cowl to make sure like any of these fittings back here aren't leaking, and I don't see any big water spots back there. So I'm just gonna start with, you know, an easy spot to get to and do that, and if I still notice that it's losing coolant, then I will start to check elsewhere. Luckily, I mean, we got no oil coolant mix, anything like that, nothing scary, and the car's running fantastic and dry underneath. Like I said, water pump's fresh, pulleys are fresh, so I don't think any of the other part of the system besides this and something, maybe something from the cowl, could be the issue. So we're gonna start with this one. All it is, two, looks like 10 millimeter nuts on each side. I'll probably replace this line since this thing is ratted out, but one right there, and then besides that, get your little clamp off here, and there's going to be a clamp underneath and your connector underneath for the level sensor. So let's take care of it. Alright guys, just got the two nuts off right there, and I think this thing is due for a replacement. Just tried to detach it and it just crumbled and left my fingers black. So anyways, disgusting. Yeah. Alright guys, took off the top of the airbox cover, just a little easier to get to that clip right there. But it's just a standard Benz coolant clip that they use, or connector I should say. Here's our Canon filter that came with the car, still in good shape, looks pretty clean. But anyways, the last one we got to do is right there. It is a hose clamp, so should be like a 8mm, or I'll just use our Phillips and get this thing out of here. So like I said guys, I filled this thing up all the way to here and haven't driven the car, and just by letting it sit, it basically came all the way down. So it's possible that some of it just, you know, fed into the system from sitting with gravity, but I don't know, that seems like quite a bit to leak out or drop down overnight, because when I filled it up there was still, you know, some at the bottom too, so it wasn't like it was fully empty and would refill the rest of the system by sitting there. But anyways, gotta get it out. All right, you guys, old one is out. Here it is. Coolant is filled to the brim on this hose, so it's spilling a little bit over here, but that's okay. Next one, or next job, is just swapping the other one in, attaching everything underneath. I do need to transfer our little sensor right here, so all you gotta do is twist this and this should slide right out. There we go. So this thing stays sealed, I think, up above, so this doesn't have any O-ring or anything on it. So let's go ahead and swap this on to the new one. Alright you guys, hands are officially freezing, and our new level sensor is in. I needed to do a little bit of like shaving out of the grooves here with just a flat blade screwdriver. It wasn't much, but just, you know, has to do with the plastic molding process. Just a little bit of shavings left over there to get these little things to fit into the groove. So that is done, ready to pop this thing back in now. Alright you guys, just finishing up. I was going to put the airbox back on, and I realized the little seal that seals against the MAF was all folded up. So I don't know if I did that or if it was like that before and I just didn't notice it. It doesn't do much, to be honest, but I had some of this foam laying around, like adhesive foam, so I went ahead and cut it to size and made a little seal for it. So gonna pop this back on. I gotta go get the correct coolant for this thing. I put the yellow stuff in here, like Prestone, Platinum, or Xerox G05, whatever, but I'm not running the blue stuff. The blue stuff's all I have right now, which I'm saving for this. So I gotta go get coolant later, and I'll catch you guys after that. But let me put this on real quick. Alright guys, there it is, buttoned up. I also replaced that hose right here, just connected it into what was still good on the other one, since it's kind of tucked down under the fender. And this is back where it needs to go, all tucked in. Airbox is sealed up again. Last thing we need to do is go get some coolant, and we'll test fire this thing up, and then we can talk about what else has been going on in the fleet. So I'll check back with you guys in a while. Alright guys, good morning. It's the next day, next morning actually. It's around 7 right now. It's raining. It's been raining really hard this morning, but we still got work to finish. All I gotta do, fill up the coolant, test fire this thing up, let it idle, get warm, etc. Make sure nothing's leaking out from anywhere obvious. But it's one of two things at this point. If it's not the expansion tank, which I don't think it is, to be honest, because the other one didn't look like it had any cracks in it. But anyways, it's one of two things. Either A, the system just burped itself. I changed a water pump probably 6 months ago, and you know, I tried to bleed the system as best I could, but I also haven't driven it in the conditions we did going to Oregon, like letting it idle for that long in the hot traffic, etc. And the tank was only down maybe half a tank, 3/4 of a tank, and that's in that whole 6 month time span. So it very well could have just burped itself and I didn't notice that it got a little bit lower, and then I noticed after we got back. Or we might have a leak somewhere in the cowl. So I'm gonna need to just kind of diagnose as we go and see if we lose coolant again after fill it up this time. So yeah, that's about it. So I'll be throwing in our Freestone Platinum again. I just got the ready to mix because I only need maybe 1 gallon, if that. So throw that in real quick, we'll fire it up and take it on a quick drive and then be done with that. And I will get you guys up to speed what else has been going on around here. Alrighty guys, that is all filled up. Let's go ahead and fire it up. Camera battery is getting low. Yeah. Turn on our what? What the heck? How does this break when I'm not even here? Alright, that's gonna need some epoxy. Anyways, let's go ahead and put this on high. Let this thing get warm. Alright guys, camera's slowly dying here, but let's go take this thing for a quick cruise, get it up to temp, and come back. Proof that cars don't like to sit, guys. What is my wiper blade doing? Maybe I need to grease up the joint inside of there, but what the heck, guys. I don't go in this thing for a week. The little clip breaks on the vent and the wiper. Sheesh. Anyways, we're getting up to temp. Every time I drive this thing, guys, I just want to drift it. I don't know why. It's just like a snappy little car. It just makes me want to drift it around the bends. But, you know, we got to be responsible. Anyways, we can do it a little bit. Okay, it's back to normal. Maybe something was stuck in it. I don't know. Could have been leaves. Probably leaves. Anyways, we're up to temp. Almost. I love this car. Alright guys, back home now. She's been sitting at temp for a good while now. So I think we are good to go. The garage looks so insane for any passerby. This is just madness, guys. We gotta get this freaking taken care of. Alright, well, I will let this thing sit and just keep an eye. I'll go check on the coolant expansion tank later, and I will update you guys if anything changes, but I feel like it probably just burped itself and it was down a little bit. So if it was like, you know, a week and it lost that much, I would be concerned, but it wasn't. It was a long time and a big road trip in between, so I'll keep you guys posted. All right, now the next part, fleet update. First off, if you guys saw the video on this thing recently, we got it fired up, made sure no water was getting in the ECU. I double wrapped this thing and I put a bunch of garbage bags underneath the hood to make sure no water is going to sit on the ECU. We got a bunch of parts on the way from Garagistic for this thing, which I'm excited to show you guys. C55, I've probably said it in the last 4 videos that I need to drive it, and I still haven't driven it and I feel terrible about it. But I just haven't had a reason or time to really properly take it out. I don't just want to take it out and drive it for 2 minutes. I want to take it out and properly drive it, so I got to carve out some time for myself when it's not weather like this. CLK has still been daily duties pretty much, and the L155 is back with the new radiator, daily duty as well. Now, in the garage, the whole debacle of the C55 in here, we got our engine out. I pulled all the bolts for the pan, and then I started trying to pry it, and it just was not budging at all. So I got a torch, borrowed from Mike, and I'm gonna go around and heat this thing up. This is its whole separate video. I have everything to do, both the pans, and I think what I'm planning to do is basically pull off the water pump, and I'm gonna inspect the 2 timing cover seals that are right here. They're basically like a square seal, and there's 2 of them on the front timing cover. Sorry, that was blurry, but anyways, there's 2 of them there, and you can inspect them once you take the water pump off. So my plan is get the water pump off, inspect those, see what they look like, and then I have to make my decision at that point if I am going to reseal the front cover. Now, the front cover is sealed, but those seals are what separate oil and water, or coolant, and can go bad. And I guess while we're in there, it's good to check it. However, I'm not really looking forward to that because I just want to get the pans done and get this thing back in here. I was hoping to have the pans done already and then be able to throw the motor in tomorrow. Today is Friday. I'm recording this on the same day you guys are seeing this. But that can still happen if I just do the pans, which I'm going to do today. But if we got to do the whole front timing cover, I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to finish that up in one day time, because who knows? I mean, I'm sure there's going to be other miscellaneous parts that I'll need to throw in there or whatever else. So it's just trying to be patient, but I really want to get this thing done. And I know we're kind of this far now, so I might as well not try to rush anything, and I'm not trying to, but I also wanted to be time efficient, and if I could get the pans done, could have got the motor back in, and technically could have had this all done by Christmas, which would have been a really cool Christmas finished gift, you know, for us, the channel, for me, be able to drive it by then. I thought of some really cool video ideas that I could do if that happens, but at the same time, I'm not going to force it. I learned my lesson big time with not forcing something with the whole transmission install last time anyways. So I'm being patient. That is the moral of the story of what's going on right now over here. I am trying to be patient, which normally I'm a pretty patient person, but with something like this, it's just like I'm itching to get this back together. But oh well, can't rush it, can't rush the progress. So besides that, we're chilling for the most part. I'm definitely going to test fit everything when we are ready. Transmission wise, the clutch was really the only thing that got hurt a little bit. There was all my bolts, but not hurt, but the splines just got a little chewed up on a few sections. So I'll file those down, make sure they're good to go, and we will not have any issues with getting that reinstalled with the transmission. So I'll keep you guys posted on this front. C36 is back up and running, so happy to have that again on daily duties. I love that car, and missed driving it for the week it was down. So that's it, guys. I will catch you guys soon with an M113 refresh video. Whether it's going to include the front cover, I don't know yet, so we'll see. Stay tuned, and thank you guys for watching. Peace.